So last time we've sculpted our, start roughing out our sculpt, but this time let's start to add a bit of foliage. I think the scene is really going to start coming together once we add some foliage. Now, there's a couple ways to go about this. You could model. So here's the leaf, which I will quickly export as an FBX. It's not really a leaf, is it? It was a blade of grass. Or the other thing is we could use asset packs. So I'm going to use a website called Florisynth. Florisynth. Now, if we go into this is a really cool website. It's like SpeedTree, but you know, free, so better. And you've got a whole bunch of options in there, like how tall do you want your tree, so like you decide by sort of like age, how sort of like up, seeking the sun makes it point up a little bit more. You've got like a whole bunch of options. You could just like hammer spacebar as well and like regenerate them. So look at that. That is a badass tree. So I'm going to download that. So I've got my blade of grass and I've got my tree. So let's go back to Unreal. And I'm going to create a new folder, which I'll call Foliage, which probably could be in meshes, but you know what, it'll just be fine in here. And I'm going to import my blade of grass. Cool, so now we've got still a fairly massive leaf, but you know what, it'll be fine, we'll fix that in a minute. And let me import my tree as well. Now, I've not actually tested the import of the tree. It did not bring any textures through. I thought it'd bring some textures. Let's see. Pack textures to Atlas. Sure, let's try that again. This is embed textures. Alright. And let's go to my downloads folder and see. Okay, so you can see there it's got like the alpha mask and diffuse normal roughness. Let's bring those in as well. I think I just need to click the option. So, let's quickly set up a few things. So with my leaf, we're going to need to make sure it's got a default color on. Obviously, because I modeled this out of a plane, it's not two-sided. So let's just start by grass underscore M. So I'm just going to open this up, set it to be green. These days in 5.4, you can actually set your color directly in that box. You used to have to hold 3 or left click if you don't have that option, and wire that in. Yoink! That is bright green. So that'll do just for the sake of this test. Make sure it's ticked two-sided because, like I said, it was a plane. And let's open up that blade of grass and make sure we set it to our grass material. Cool. There you go. Now our grass is two-sided and not on the floor. There we go, better. Cool, let's check out the tree. So nice, the tree came in 2 parts. I actually don't want it to be in 2 parts. I'm just going to delete it out real quick and import it back in. And I'm just going to quickly search for the word combine and make sure we've got combine static meshes on. Cool. Now my tree should have come through at 1. But it's at the wrong bloody rotation because it's an OBJ. Ugh. And it's also scaled wrong. Let's quickly fix that. So I'm just going to quickly import it again. Got a 1 in 3 chance. Well, it's not going to be the Z, so let's just test it there. Let's add 90. And on the inform scale, I'm actually just going to scale that up to 10 because we want the tree to be bigger. Okay. Yay! Right on both accounts. Cool. Let's quickly set up those materials. So to start with, I'm just going to take my diffuse and just going to drag it and drop it and see how it looks. Look at that. It's already brought in all the information. It knows where to look for it. If we open it up, we can see it's come through. It's got the alphas already wired up to it, which is quite nice. You could, at this point, like I say, it's come through with a normal map, so we could add the normal to it. We can add the roughness to it as well if we want to, but we don't need the alpha because it's automatically pulled that through. Okay, so there we go. Now we've got a tree, which also isn't on the floor. Snapped at the floor, man. I'm pressing end, keyboard shortcut end. Now, as you can imagine, it's going to take a long time to start moving these and duplicating these and putting these everywhere. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly delete them. Ooh, real quick actually, I almost forgot. Let's make sure that the material is set to it by default, the default material. Okay, so in the selection mode in the top left, I'm going to go to Foliage. Ooh, don't forget to delete your leaf, John. It's fine. We'll come back to that. Right, now inside Foliage, it says drag your foliage here. Let's start with the grass. Sure. And now you can see if I hover over it, we've got this paint bubble that shows you where the paint's in. I'm just clicking and it's putting loads of variations of grass down, right? And that's looking cool, but real quick, they're way too big. So we've got a whole bunch of options in here. Let's have a quick look-see, shall we? So we've got place actors, paint density. Obviously, if that's full, that's going to paint lots. If it's not full, it's not going to paint as many. At this point as well, it's worth clicking on this button and saying show FPS, because obviously the more you have in there that are complicated, the crazier it's going to get. So I'm just going to tick my leaf. I'm going to scroll down and you can see again density, and here we go, uniform and scaling. I want a bit of randomness. So first of all, they were way too big, so I'm just going to go maybe like 0.2 and 0.4. Let's have a look at that. In terms of the player, let's have a walk over, see how they look. Still too big. So let's make it actually 0.1 and 0.2. Let's try that again. Okay. They feel sort of better. And at least for this test, I don't want to go on about this loads. So I'm going to set that density all the way up. And you can see we've got this nice patch of grass. So we can sort of start painting that everywhere. Yeah, we can sort of paint that in. But we've got other options as well. Like I say, we've got paint, reply, single fill, erase. So let's get rid of you ones over there. Just sort of test so you can sort of see. Let's not. No, that'll be fine. Cool. So that's our grass setup. What about if we wanted to work with our tree now? So let's drag and drop our tree in. Just hit save. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to untake this leaf. You can see it's put 8,000 leaves in there. Woo! There's a lot of leaves. And let's see what happens now with the tree by default. Holy crap. That forest is intense. And the trees are still too small. But looking cool, right? So let me just Control Z that, get rid of that, and let's first of all decrease that density down to like 10, unless we are making a forest, and probably like a minimum of 2, maybe like 2.5. Again, you can sort of tweak the offset if you find that yours is like sort of like raising up a little bit. You can sort of add a bit to that. We've got align normal. What essentially that means is if you look at this hill and I start placing trees up that hill, you can see it's rotating with the hill, which is awesome. Or you can, you know, untick that and tweak that if you want to. But really, that's sort of about the most that we're going to want to mess with. You might want to turn collision on if you are making a an actual sort of like forest area. You might want to turn collision on. Let's see now. So we'll go over to our grassy area, and the tree's got crazy collision because of all the branches and whatnot. So let me just go back into selection mode, edit that. Oops, no, edit the tree. Double click the tree to bring up your editor, and we can start editing the collision here. Now, all I'm going to do actually, I'm just going to remove set collision, and I'm just going to add a simple box collision. That box collision is way too big. Scale it down. Shunk. I'm just going to sort of like place that over the branch, the main part, the main body. Yeah, turn off snapping. Cool. Again, I'm not gonna work on this too long. I don't want to make the video ridiculously long. Cool, save that. Now let's run over, test that collision. Cool, we can actually get close to it now, which is quite nice. Yeah, there you go. We're starting to get some foliage. Ooh, frame rate's taking a little bit of a hit though. That's because of all the birds. We need to slow down those birds, man. Oh, flight towards that treasure chest. But actually, you can see on my right hand side, I'm still getting 54 frames per second, which isn't too bad. So there you go. Mess with that a little bit. Start to flesh out your world. And yeah, that'll be a good start. Thanks for watching.